not religious and love listening to religious music, you know. Could you talk a little bit about the piano and what that brings in for you? Because to me it's in a way, I love the piano, but it's to me least Jewish because it's not portable, you know. But the piano, when you were on the piano, it was the most modern and the oldest all at the same time, the jazz and the old melodies. Could you talk about what the piano does for you in this?
It's fun.
Before he does that, and I'll let him, he says I never let him talk. Which, I do something. But we decided, and I'll let him explain what he did on the piano, but we decided to hold nothing back. In other words, we all have different and very extensive training musically. So we decided to use our classical chops, our compositional chops, I decided on some pieces I'm going to really use vibrato. I'm going to make it a kind of deeply classical sound. Josh has a very, very big background in composition and theory and jazz, and Stu has a background in everything. So we decided, let's just make this work. Let's not worry about authenticity. Let's use all of the tools we have. And now
I'll let him talk too. But first, on having said that it's not portable, I think that plays on some mythology that would be nice to get a little bit into. The image of the itinerant musician, a culture ready to pick up at the drop of a hat, that's an overgeneralization at best and untrue stereotypes at worst. First, the itinerant musician is really not a bum on the run with their fiddle in a bag. Itinerant means going from job to job, same as a jazz band in the Midwest. Count Basie would probably drive 600 miles to play a party in a different state. That's an itinerant band, but they had homes, they lived places. So itinerant is a bad image that's used at the fiddler on the roof level of Jewish mythology. That's my soapbox.
Well, to further elaborate on that, the idea of itinerancy in you see the old engravings of Jews walking along in a procession. Well, those are mostly either a reference to Picard novellas, which portrayed gypsies and Jews as wandering throughout the landscapes, for long distances, which really wasn't possible in Eastern Europe in the 17th, 18th, and 19th centuries because the travel restrictions were so strict. So you had to write a formal request across a border, and sometimes you wouldn't get it, and Jews were not particularly able to go from one state to another, first into or whatever it was to another. So the range that a musician could service probably didn't extend more than about 50 or 60 kilometers if you were lucky. But the idea of walking while you're playing definitely happened and still does in weddings because you had to go from house to house. You went to the synagogue, you had Gazenigunim, where you would play on the street and do all that. So that part of it is true. But we basically, it was all said really. It's simply a resource that we have in our hands to use that. And we didn't shy away from it in this work to try to, we have enough traditional gestures and sounds in the band. Why not include something that stretches the envelope even a little bit further? Harmonically as well, and something that we're more limited in this constellation to do. We can do with the piano and other textures. So it's really just a musical consideration and not an ideological one. Yeah.
Beautiful.